I'm a bit nervous here, you know. Welcome to this extra special day here in Bronie's world for my 2000th episode of Daily Tips. Since lockdown, the world went crazy, and it's really quite funny because here in Australia we didn't go into lockdown at the same time as the US. We didn't go into about the 24th of March 2020, but that gave me an insight to the guys in the US. I had a lot of friends who were going a little bit stir crazy because they couldn't go anywhere and they were used to be out and about and going to work and so forth. And I thought, oh, I'm going to have to do something here. We can't have people, they were really messing around. Oh, it goes in my face. Anyway, so I'm going to tell you how I started. It all started with me in my office here. I had one of those little individual bouncy trampolines, and I just jumped on it and posted it on Facebook and just did something crazy. Said, come on, guys, don't get upset with being locked down. Just make it fun. Keep it exercising. Get one of these and jump up and down. And, those who actually know me know I'm very shy. And that was a real big deal for me to do that. And then I did something again the next day. And one of my school friends, who I had no idea was watching me, reached out to me. He said, oh, Bronie, I'm loving this. What are you going to do tomorrow? And he said, what are we going to do then when the lockdowns finish? And I said, well, maybe I'll have to keep going. And he said, and when we were growing up, we had a program here called Romper Room, right, that you watched. And he said, it's like watching Romper Room. So anyway, that's how it all started, with a bit of fun, with me trying to do something to make everyone laugh, have fun, give some. But I even did some crazy things like, since when did washing your hands become a big deal? Like how do we not know how to wash our hands? That was crazy. I thought, you have to be told how to wash your hands. Anyway, so I made a funny one about that. I even made one about making your bed, can't sleep in all day, did all sorts of things. And then I started to interview people, and I started as well, and I call that at Bronie's desk when I actually do an interview as part of my at Bronie's world, in Bronie's world. And I've had some amazing guests over those 2000 days. And on my 1000th day, the young gentleman you see on screen with me was my very special guest. So for my 2000th day, I had to ask him to come back on and bring his beautiful wife, because I've had her separately as well. But together it was always good. I thought they might have got in the same room, but anyway, they want to be on separate cameras. That's all right. And why I've asked them is, believe it or not, young Steve is actually, I actually remember him on a call one day we had with our company, telling everyone, Bronie probably thinks I stalk her. I said no, because he's actually the one person who there's very rarely a day he has not liked, doesn't always comment, but has not liked my daily tips. He is my most loyal follower, and I think, how on earth did this man have time to watch this little girl from the country who lives out in a little village with about 100 houses in it, and on the mid-north coast of New South Wales, here in Australia, and he's over there in the USA, and he's a CEO. He's heading up this amazing company, which I love and so proud to be a part of, because I love their ethics. They're one of the most ethical companies, and morally of good standing. They're very much follow my own morals and ethics in everything they do, and that meant a great deal to me, because I know I can trust them. And I know these guys actually go to such a great strength, and their ethics and morals are so valuable to me because I know that they will not and do not compromise on any of the ingredients that go into our supplements or anything that we have. They do not compromise. I've heard Steve say more than once that they would rather go out of stock than give lesser quality to our clients, because this is what our company stands on. It stands on its quality, its ethics, and the product's got to work. They've got to work, and they stand up to time. And if you start compromising on what you're doing there, then people are not going to then trust you. And trust is something a lot of people don't get from anyone today. And that is a really sad thing, because like you turn around and you think, well, I thought I could trust you, but you can't. But these guys, I trust with my life. They have changed my life in more ways than one, not only because they accept me for me, and that's a big deal to me. And now I've lost my train of thought. They value me, and not too many people value people like myself who are not necessarily at the top of a ladder. We're out there in the field. They appreciate each and every one of us. And guys, that's huge. That's huge. And I thank you both for the time and the effort you give to us all. And I've had people ask, they want me to ask you questions, but anyway, which I will. So I want to introduce to the world my amazing friends who love me for me, I think, and who are prepared to take time out of their day to come and join me here today for my 2000 show. The amazing co-founders with Steve's dad, Dr. Joel Wallach, of our amazing company, Youngevity. They are the gorgeous, absolutely fabulous Steve and Michelle Wallach. Thank you for coming and joining us today. You're allowed to unmute too, Michelle.
Well, thank you for inviting us.
Well, I could have not.
So we have to play around with our audio just for a second here.
Me?
No, I had it turned down though. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, so I can hear you fine.
Okay, so we just need to turn up ours 1 second. Okay, we'll try this. Okay, so first, congratulations on your 2000th Bronie's World episode. That's incredible. I don't know of anybody other than maybe my father that has done 2,000 consecutive presentations, shows, podcasts, episodes, or anything like that. So there's my father who's probably done like 50,000, and there's Bronie that's done 2,000, and then nobody else. so that is incredible.
Well, that is
keep
consecutive.
Going. Now the big question is, what do we do at 3,000?
Well, I don't know. Well, that's another 1,000 days away.
Yeah, we have time. So, you brought up Romper Room. So my father used to regularly appear on Romper Room, bringing different animals. Gosh, in Chicago, probably, I'm going to say 50 years ago, because I remember him doing that when I was little. So it's quite some time ago, but yes, Romper Room brings back fond memories for me. Most people, young people like Michelle, probably don't even know what Romper Room is. But you and me, I remember Romper Room very fondly. So it's neat that you brought that up. As far as loving what you do and loving you for what, who you are. Absolutely. Absolutely. We love you for absolutely who you are and all that you do. And you are very important to the Youngevity Nation. So, absolutely. So that's, not only what you do is very important, but who you are is very important. Also, you brought up, our uh, uh, non-flexible ethics when it comes to, or unflexible ethics, whatever, however you want to state that, immovable ethics when it comes to the quality of our products. Absolutely. You're absolutely right, Bronie. We will not compromise on the ingredients or the quality of the products. We would rather run out of stock than substitute ingredients. And, right now it's not that big of an issue in terms of running out of things, other than sales of certain items have skyrocketed, and so then it becomes a little bit of a challenge to get product in stock quick enough from the manufacturer. But supply chain issues have definitely resolved for the most part compared to where they were due to COVID supply chain issues. So right now it's not that big of an issue like it was probably 2 years ago, 3 years ago. But Youngevity, we're gearing up for our 30th anniversary. And in 30 years, other than the supply chain challenges of COVID issues, due to the lockdowns and shipping problems and just logistics all got tangled up, and ingredients became hard to get. In 30 years, nearly 30 years, I can't really remember us having major challenges with ingredients because we have such a great team. We plan way ahead. And we also, my father has always had this philosophy. I remember him saying this before Youngevity existed, and certainly the whole time, fill the warehouse. And you guys have all seen pictures of our San Diego warehouse. It's huge. And fill the warehouse and don't worry about it. We'll sell the products. People will love our products, and they do. And so that hasn't been a challenge, a huge challenge over the 30 years, because we try to plan way ahead for all our customers and our distributors and their customers, so we don't create those challenges for them. So we try to take the hard part on ourselves as opposed to making it difficult on everybody else. And so there's that. And as far as something else that you've probably heard me say, and if you haven't, you're going to hear me say it now. I'd much rather apologize for the taste of a product than the ingredients in the product. So in other words, we do our best to flavor our natural products, and I think we do a great job, especially compared to Michelle. Tells the history and the stories from way back in the beginning that the products did not taste good, and the liquids in particular, they really tasted not good at all. In fact, our slogan at times was, "They taste so bad they must be good for you." And so sampling the products was not really something we looked forward to with new prospects and new customers. But over the 30 years, or nearly 30 years, we've definitely done a great job in improving the natural flavor of our products using natural ingredients, and improving the manufacturing of these products and the formulations to where the ingredients really blend well together and taste as good as you can get with natural ingredients. So we won't use artificial, and we use the best ingredients and do the best we can on taste. Excuse me, I got a tickle in my throat. But we get manufacturers routinely saying, "Well, Steve, if you want them to taste even better, just use artificial." We won't do that. We will not use artificial flavors, colors, sweeteners, ingredients, nothing like that. And so when we formulate a product, it's with the best ingredients available, and we won't compromise on that.
That's awesome. But there's one question actually that I got asked while we were waiting for you to come on, because I'm here in Australia, and most of my people that come on are from Australia and New Zealand. And interestingly enough, I was asked, do you remember the date Youngevity actually came into Australia? And from that also, I want you to give your thoughts and your insight, your forward insight as to the future for how you perceive the future of Youngevity here down under. because we all want to know.
Sure. So, as soon as Youngevity began, and this was officially, the paperwork was done at, before this, but officially, I think we announced Youngevity to the world in April of 1997. And almost immediately, people in Canada, Australia, and New Zealand started telephoning us. We didn't have email. There was no texting, nothing like that. So we, immediately started getting phone calls from people in Australia, New Zealand, like I said, Canada as well, saying, "Hey, when are you going to get the products over here? We want the products too." And we of course, because of my father's worldwide fame, especially by that time, because of the audio cassette tape distribution of and reach of Dead Doctors Don't Lie, it had become very, very popular. And so my father's message had become very, very popular. He had become very, very popular. And so, it was not uncommon to begin, hearing from people. They would track us down somehow. There was no Facebook. There was no, our cell phone numbers weren't on, social media. There was no social media. And we didn't really use cell phones back then. I mean, we had like flip phones maybe and a bag phone kind of, and so, but they would track us down at the office primarily, I think, and, call. And obviously, the time zone differences. And so, when we started the company, Michelle and I lived in the house that the company started in at that point in time, and I believe, and so as I recall, and so the office telephones in the house would start ringing, at night, because in Australia and New Zealand in particular, it's daytime now, and so people would start calling, and so it was interesting for sure, because you couldn't respond to an email, like I said, or a text message or something like that. We'd also get, believe it or not, letters back then. I haven't gotten many letters lately, because people send emails now and text messages and things like that, and social media messages. Yeah, so almost immediately people began asking my father to come lecture in those countries and to bring the products into those countries. And so it was not very long after the company began that people would buy the products from the U.S. initially. And then we then opened an office in New Zealand and Australia. And now we have the primary office in New Zealand, obviously, but we service Australia and New Zealand out of that facility. And so it's been, Michelle, just said, like 28 years. It's been pretty much since the beginning.
Wow. There you go. So how do you perceive Youngevity going forward here down under? I mean, I know our governments don't make it easy. The red tape.
But that's every country has a different set of rules. And so, like I said, I think we have an amazing team, at Youngevity Corporate. And so, dealing with those different rules and regulations, that's just something we do. And so, I don't see us changing much in regards of what we do in New Zealand and Australia, other than we intend to do more. But, you guys have seen Sean over there a couple of times recently. And so, I'm going to tell you a secret with Michelle on this call so she can validate it or verify it. One of her favorite places in the world is actually Gold Coast, Australia. And so there was a time.
She needs to come to our next Gold Coast event with Sean.
There was a time that she wanted to move us there. And so, of probably 2 or 3 of her favorite places in the world to want to live, Australia is one of them. Michelle and I, not only did we have an event in Gold Coast, but Sanjeev was with us, Richard Renton was with us, Andrew Wallach was with us. And so we still, to this day, those are some of our favorite photographs, family photographs, because, we also toured Australia while we were there. All the tropical lorikeets are sitting on Andrew's head, and we had some fun photos with Sanjeev and Richard. And so it was a fun experience.
Wasn't it long ago, like 2018?
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago, but it's been a few years.
Well, it's actually interesting you mentioned Andrew, because I was thinking about him. I think it is absolutely amazing that he is following in his grandfather's footsteps. And not only is he training to be a vet, but he's going to the same vet school. And that's not an easy thing, because, you've got to be accepted, haven't you? And
not guaranteed.
Yeah. So what we just did, those pictures you saw on Facebook that are still there and posted, he's touring different colleges right now to choose one.
Different graduates.
Graduate schools, yeah, or vet school programs. And so the one we just went to is the one that my father graduated from, obviously. And I was born in St. Louis. My father was born in St. Louis. His father was born in St. Louis. And so it's kind of interesting going back and we toured the zoo, and that was fun. It's been a long time since I've been back at the St. Louis Zoo. But as you know, my father worked with Marlin Perkins at the St. Louis Zoo and began writing, this book, this 1,200-page textbook, Diseases of Exotic Animals there. And it's co-written by William Boever and Dr. William Boever. And he became the first full-time zoo vet at the St. Louis Zoo. My father trained him, and he worked his entire career at the St. Louis Zoo as the zoo vet, the primary zoo vet of St. Louis. And so, just interesting history. And it was interesting because touring the University of Missouri or Missouri University, vet school and the halls and the history, it's kind of like Youngevity has its hall of history, if you've ever been to the headquarters in Chula Vista. But the university has that as well. And some of the same pictures they have on their wall, we have the same pictures of Dr. Wallach, my father, when he was there. And then they brought up and I think you see this on I'm sure you do, of one of the posted pictures, his graduating class with a picture of my father. And so Andrew's standing next to that. And they pulled that up on the hallway light box for us. It was interesting too, because the administrator of admissions, I'm not sure exactly of his title, but he's the main guy of admissions, the recruiter. He spent a long time talking to us and Andrew in particular, but he's been there for 18 years, he said, and he has never seen a situation where a grandchild of a graduate of the vet program had come back to that school to be a vet. And so he was pretty moved by that, I think. And certainly Michelle and I weren't seeing, Andrew there and taking it all in, and pictures of my father on the wall at the same time. And so, that was pretty incredible. But
he's got big shoes to fill as a young Andrew.
He does. He absolutely, but he's up to that challenge. He's excited about it for sure. And, one of the things about all our kids, of course, they get Michelle's love for animals. I'd say mine too, but Michelle takes it to another level. And
Good on you, Michelle.
Has really been passionate about caring for animals, as far back as he could, I guess. And so this is definitely he has a perfect aptitude and attitude for this, I think.
And I've heard you say before that he has some of your father's traits.
He does.
With his hearing.
He absolutely does. Yes, we call him a little Dr. Wallach, although he's taller than I am, and I'm taller than my father. So he's not so little, but we call him a little Dr. Wallach.
Wow. Yeah. Well, anyway, I think it's amazing. I think it's great, and the future's looking good when these things happen. So,
well, I'm going to turn this over to Michelle.
We better let Michelle have a word or two.
I could talk about my father, all day, all night.
Your dad has been absolutely great as one of my special guests for quite some time. And then he lost his voice. And so, and he is 85. So we got to give him time to rest and recuperate and do what he loves doing, and actually writing his books and doing his research. So I am so absolutely grateful for the time that he gave me, and he willingly gave me. And we used to have fun. So he's still a wonderful man, and I look forward to the day I can meet you all actually in the flesh.
Oh, that would be so much fun. He is actually still a lot of fun, but yeah, his voice, just doing so many Zooms a day, doing so many radio shows a day, it's too hard on his vocal cords, so it's just raspy now. But We just saw him on Monday. We just saw him on Sunday and Monday. He's doing great. We love him, and he's enjoying retirement right now. So bless his heart. He certainly deserves it after giving more than 60 years of his life. So our job here, our goal is to continue on and carry on the mission and build the biggest Dr. Wallach army that we possibly can worldwide.
Well, that's what I'm trying to help.
Absolutely. No, all of you guys are doing an amazing job. I did want to let you all know, if you do not know, in September when we do our Live the Life You Want event, we're actually recording that whole thing because I know the time difference, never good. So the following weekend, we're going to make it completely available for all of you to watch. I believe it's free. That we're going to make it available for everybody in New Zealand and Australia to watch during regular New Zealand and Australia hours.
Oh, well,
So
that'll be great.
You're up in the middle of the night and you don't have to deal with all of that. One of the most exciting things that we're doing that weekend, and I started to let the cat out of the bag this week, is there's a hyper focus on creating an entire line of products within our company specifically for women. And so at this Live the Life You Want event, it's all about the launch of this women's line of products that we've been working on for months and months and months and months and months. And I'm excited, even down to the packaging. I mean, I think it's been nearly 30 years of all white bottles, all green caps. And I am excited to say that I am finally stepping outside the white bottle, green cap look. And my bottles are all shades of lavender and pink. And it just has its own unique look to it, but also at the end of the day, extremely high end. And so everything that we're formulating, everything that we're creating, it really is geared towards, and it's no offense to our lovely Mr. McGinnis, who is on this call today. Hi, Grant. I'm sure Steve will be making some products specifically for you as well, but for all the lovely women that are on today's call, it really is about the year of the woman, to be quite honest. And so
we have some race red products coming out.
I think we do have some race red products coming out for sure. And then the other thing that we're going to do, Bronie, is that at the beginning of September, you guys will have the advent calendars because they're done. They're getting on a boat. They're shipping.
I was going to ask you, are we getting them this year?
That took like 5 years to make happen.
She has the hat for it.
She does have the hat for it, yes. So my team, I mean, we really did, bless my team, because honestly, to get it done by now, to get it shipped to Australia and New Zealand, they've literally been working on it all year. So it's done. It's under, it's ready to ship. I was there in the office in San Diego on Monday, and so they're all getting ready, and they'll be out there, and they'll be ready for you right on time at the same time that the rest of the world gets them. Australia and New Zealand will have them at the exact same time this year as well.
Oh, that's wonderful. I absolutely adored last year's one because it was the first one we got down under, and I'm going, oh, and I put everything back in its box after I opened it,
but they were
so that I didn't lose them, so that I could pull them out when I
that's so nice of you. They got held up though. They got held up in customs because we had coffee in them. Oh. Yeah, coffee's my evil friend when it comes to customs because everything gets held. If you guys do not know, but you're shipping coffee internationally, it gets held just because the dogs pick up the scent and they just want to make sure that we're not trying to hide anything in the coffee. So my packages take it. But this year, I don't think we'll have those issues. And again, we're shipping them in plenty of time. So you guys should have them right on time this year.
Well, I got mine before December. I ordered it as soon as it got in, so I did that as my daily tips for the first 12 days in December. That was pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to what's coming in this year's one. Sorry, Michelle.
No, for sure. And the second they ship, we're already working on next year's. In fact, the boxes will be coming in this coming month for next year. So it's definitely a year-round project now.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the background things that happen in Youngevity that people just don't see and don't know and don't realize how much goes into it, because there's a lot of thought and effort go into those event calendars as well.
No, absolutely. I mean, it really is about not just giving the gift of health, but giving something that brings joy to everyone. And so in creating the advent calendar, which I think we really just started, I think that was a COVID thing. it really has blossomed and turned into this amazing thing. And in the last couple of years, they completely sold out. So I'm always excited for what the team has come up with next. More so than anything, though, have you heard about our new spice line and food line that we're creating?
I only just received mine.
No, Diana? Okay, Diana.
Yay.
We have like the most amazing spice line that we have launched. And we had just launched with 3 products, but we just partnered with a brand new company out of Canada, brand new to us, I should say. They've been in business for over 20 years, and that's Sunset Gourmet. And so they have a massive line of products. We're still building our line. In fact, I think we're launching, did we launch them on yesterday's call?
Yes.
We launched, I have to ask Steve if we launched yesterday. I think we did. I think we launched 6 or 12 more products yesterday under YGY Easy Eats. But that's going to be coming to Australia very soon if it's not already there already.
Well, we have the first 3.
Yeah, the first 3. So you
and
have
mine
the
actually
next.
arrived yesterday.
Oh, good. So you have the next 12 coming. And, from there, you'll have the Sunset Gourmet line coming as well. And it's just going to open up all new doors for us just in regards to really creating healthy foods, we're not just talking spices. We are talking like ready to eat meals or meal assistance that just makes your life as a woman, as a family provider, just, go that much faster and that much easier. Trying to make that dinner in under 30 minutes and with as few ingredients as possible, with as much nutrition as possible.
And do you know what I noticed about the spices?
What did you notice?
That they're manufactured in Australia.
Yes, a few of them were manufactured in Australia.
Well, the 3 I've got
very, very true. Yes, we can actually thank our lovely government for one of the reasons I did Australia. So when he was talking about doing the tariffs and everything, Australia was a really good resource for us to turn to because we didn't have a tariff issue shipping between Australia and the U.S. and Canada and Mexico. So yay for Canada, or yay for Australia, because that was a huge plus for us. Plus, obviously, you have really good soil, really good ingredients coming out of Australia. When it's organic from Australia, there's just an automatic belief system that you're getting something that's so much better made there than you would here in any way. So we really love when things can actually come from down under because it's just a security of knowing that it's going to be really high end and it's going to be really good ingredients.
Awesome. Well, I just thought that was a nice coup for Australia.
Now,
and Michelle, you're one of your biggest loves is the mineral makeups, and I try to tell people about this. Now, I'm not a big makeup girl because I'm in the country. I don't get to go anywhere to wear it. But when I do wear it, I want quality and I want stuff that's not going to hurt me. I do have some lip.
The thing about the mineral makeup, Bronie, is the fact that it really serves a dual purpose. It is also a sunscreen, which is obviously a huge issue in Australia, just making sure that you've got skin protection. So versus the thought process that, it's makeup and, I've got to put it all on. At the end of the day, 74% of all women in North America will at least put base makeup on. They may not do the blush and the eyeshadow and the lipstick, but they will put base makeup on. And that's the great thing about my base makeup is it is sunscreen. I mean, that is the overall number 1 ingredient. There's no fillers in it. One of the great things that I promote is the fact that there's no cornstarch in it, which means it's not going to grow bacteria. It can literally sit open on your counter for, weeks and months. That's why it doesn't have an expiration date. There's nothing inside of it that's going to grow any bacteria, and there's no ingredients in there that doesn't serve the skin. A lot of makeup companies have fillers. A lot of makeup companies put ingredients in that weigh it down. And then, of course, there's a lot of makeup companies that just use ingredients that are irritants for the skin. And I'm not saying you can't be allergic to a particular natural ingredient, but the majority of women are not. And so this product is 19 years old. Now I have a tickle in my throat. This line is 19 years old. And with that, I want you to know that all we've done is grow it. All we've done is stick with the integrity of every ingredient in the mineral makeup serves its purpose. And so if you join the Zoom Live the Life You1 event, we'll actually have an entire presentation, not just about the mineral makeup, but also about the skincare. and some of my favorite products within the skincare, especially the enzyme peel. It's one of the most amazing products that we've ever developed, as well as the waterless vitamin C. We'll talk about how you color match. It really is super easy. I know a lot of women are like, I don't know how to, find the right color for my skin, especially when you're using the internet to pick your right color. We've got super simple samples that we send to you so that you can color match and feel comfortable before you're investing in a nice big jar. And we'll go over all of that with Live the Light. So it's a great training session on mineral makeup on a Friday. That'll be a Friday thing. We'll also be going over the essential oils. There'll be an entire session on essential oils. There'll be an entire session on the power of protein. That's something that all of us women need to really take into consideration when it comes to our health and well-being, is just how much protein are we consuming, and what is the best sources of protein, and how do you get protein without having to eat 42 hamburgers a day or 18 salads or or 6 shakes. Like, we really want you to understand, and we're going to explain
2 dozen eggs.
Right, how to get the best sources of protein, and Youngevity has amazing sources of protein. We'll also be going over the YGY Easy Eats and Sunset Gourmet Foods, so we'll have presentations to that. We're going to go over all the tools. I know, I'm like, okay, but we're going to go over all the tools. So we're going to go over the website and the app and just the easy things that you should be looking for. I think every single day, all of us need a reminder on just how many amazing things you can find through our website and through our app. A lot of people just don't know where everything's at, so it's a quick session on that. And then as well, we're going to be going over, makeup, essential oils, the easy eats, the tools, protein. I know there's one more. That's Friday's session. And then on Saturday, it's a complete day devoted to women's health and women's needs. So we have medical doctors coming in to speak. We have health coach Sanjeev Javia. There's a chance that Steve might be coming to speak. I don't think I've told him about that yet.
We just did now.
I know he'll probably talk to me about it all the way to our next event. He'll be like,
know what you might learn on these calls.
"That's right." But yeah, we just have so much in store, and then we're gonna have another.
He's got to put a dress on.
Yes, for sure. And then after that, we're gonna
well.
Yeah. We're going to announce our next event, which will be a mere 6 months after, and that will be a cruise through the Caribbean.
Wow.
A Live the Life You Want event, correct? That'll be a cruise through the Caribbean. And then we actually even are already planning 2027's Live the Life. So a lot going on. We're coming up to our 30-year anniversary. So everyone, you're going to start seeing everything branded with our 30-year anniversary logo. So just know.
Behind me here, I have the 25.
You do. So everything's about to be 30 years, and I'm going to spend a good 18 months celebrating that. We've worked really hard to get here, which means I've got a child. I've got a child that just turned 32 last week. I have a child turning 19 tomorrow, and I've got a child in between all of that. So in the last 30 years, we've raised 3 boys and gotten them grown, and we've continued,
And several dogs.
I got 5 dogs, 5 too many dogs. I'd like 3 donkeys and 2 goats. That's what I want right now. 3 donkeys and 2 goats. That would be my dream come true. And a sheep. I like a sheep.
Steve, you're going to have to get a bigger backyard, I think.
I already sent him a farm listing on Sunday. I'm like, can we go look at this farm? And he's like, no.
I don't know where you have the time for it all. Honestly, I don't.
No, I know. I really don't see how I'd have the time either, but it doesn't matter. I still want 3 donkeys. So no, he's absolutely right. Steve and I are going to we're all over the place right now. So we'll be in Dallas, Texas next week, supporting the ANP. That's a nationwide organization that supports network marketing. And so we will be there for that. We've got a whole bunch of events coming up, including in Texas. And then I believe my team is going to be back down in Australia end of October, right?
That's correct.
October, Sean's going to be back.
At the end of October.
Sean is going to be back. Andrew has actually kind of gotten a little bit of an email offer in regards to doing some veterinarian work there in New Zealand. So maybe I might come down with him. We'll see. We'll see if that pans out.
Well,
but I would
just
love
across
to
the ditch.
Well, trust me, if I drop Andrew off in New Zealand to do that, I'll just scoot myself on over to the Gold Coast. You don't have to worry there. You guys will either find me in Sydney, find me in Brisbane, or find me in Gold Coast, because I love all three cities.
Well, any one of them, I have to do a bit of a drive for that, because it's,
Yeah.
you know.
Are you on the other side? Where are you?
Oh, I'm in New South Wales, but I'm on
okay.
I'm mid North Coast. So,
North Coast.
but I actually go to the Gold Coast events because it's easier for me to drive from where I am than it is to go to the Sydney events, would you believe?
Well, isn't it really like us going to Las Vegas? Like, it's just a more desirable city to go to, isn't it?
Well, I have children and grandchildren on the Gold Coast. So,
for sure.
You know, make it, you know, you've got to see the grandkids sometimes, even though it takes me about 8 hours to get there, but that's beside the point.
Does anyone have any other questions before we jump on our next call? Does anyone have any other questions for us?
Yes. Does anyone have any questions they would like to ask Steve and Michelle while we have them in our clutches?
We're actually side by side. We have completely different backgrounds, but we are side by side in the same office.
Oh, I can't. Anyone? Diane, do you have a question? I would like to bring Diane on, actually.
Sure.
Yes, I was at the first meeting with Longevity when you first came to Australia.
Way back then. Oh, wow.
Yes.
Diane was 75.
And I'm 75 the other day.
You look amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Well, I'm still here. I'm still hanging in.
Yeah.
So forgive me if Stephen and I jump off, though. We just have to jump onto another call, but we all wanted to come on tonight and wish you guys all the best. And we love you, Bronie. Congratulations on this being number 2,000.
I know.
Awesome.
I don't know what we're going to do for 3,000, but you know, we that's 1,000 days away. But look, I just want to thank you so much for coming on and giving me and us here down under your time, and we value you more than you will ever know. And I just, as I say here in Bronie's Well, I'm going to end this out with, I ask all nicely to stay safe, stay informed, be empowered, but do not live in fear, my friends. And when you are following or being part of a company that is ethical and morally standing and will not compromise on quality, then you too, my friends, will be powerful, beautiful, brilliant, and most definitely very brave. God bless you all, and thank you, my amazing CEO and COO. So that was a new thing, Steve and Michelle Wallach, for being my absolutely amazing special guests for my 2,000th episode. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Bye. Catch you again tomorrow here at Bronie's World.